Hello, I decided to do our second paper by selecting the images for you and asking you to think a little bit about using the various feminist critiques we have considered, ranging from Patricia Hill Collins to possibly Audre Lorde to Jean Kilbourne, possibly John Stoltenberg, and probably forgetting one, but basically, I think the narrative directions make it pretty clear that you want to use keywords and indicate who uses that keyword in parentheses. For example, if you say black sexual politics, you will want to put in parentheses Hill Collins at the end of that sentence because that is Hill Collins's term. Or if you use a specific statistic or term about advertising from the Jean Kilburn video, then you will want to put Kilborn in parentheses at the end of the sentence. So I don't want to take forever with this. My goal is to give you some choices and to ask you to think about some questions if you choose to write about each of these choices. Now, the first advertisement here, and most of these advertisements, I should add, I found in Oprah magazine because I'm not looking here for really obvious advertisements that objectify women or create obviously unrealistic standards. I'm looking for ads that have a kind of subliminal or subtle message that diminishes women's identity, self confidence, and power. So, the first one here, we have the mightiest protection for your tightest styles. And we have a woman who's super happy to be menstruating. And of course, we love the name Always because don't we wish we were always menstruating? Oh, hell no. Just the name Always is stupid. But if we think about the picture and some of the copy around the picture, you may know that Tampax tampons have things like fiberglass and asbestos and some other ingredients that make you bleed more. Also, the ingredients that they put in these commercial products. I'm making my video for my students, so cut it out.
30 feet far.
Or I will erase your stars. Sorry. Um, some of the ingredients will give you yeast infections or cause irritation, and you never want to use anything scented anywhere near your vagina. But aside from that, um, here is the black woman selling a product that has to do not necessarily with cleaning, but with cleanliness. And Kilborn might have showed you a picture of a black woman in a kitchen, heavy set, selling Pine Sol. Not sure if that's in the current emanation, but there is a long history, and Hill Collins doesn't talk about this in Black Sexual Politics, but talks about it in another article called Mammy's Matriarchs and Other Controlling Images. There is a tradition of using black women in advertisements, such as Aunt Jemima, to make people feel like they'll be clean and protected and well fed and nurtured and cared for. And very often, these ads appeal to white women because of a cultural fantasy of being cared for by black women. So, anyway, there are many approaches you could use to this woman who's really happy to have her period and to smell good. The whole question about odor free and women smelling is a bit controversial in my opinion as well. So there are lots of things you could do with this particular picture using evidence from what we have read or the videos we have watched, or both. The next example here is a really beautiful and confident woman, and I really, um, I really chose this ad because I don't know why there is a strip of denim in the upper right hand corner of the picture to show the sneaker that kind of cuts off her shoulder. And other than that, the center of the picture includes her direct come hither gaze and her slightly, her vaginal vulval area. the sneakers are not in the center of the picture. So what draws your eye in this picture? Not necessarily the shoes, certainly the beautiful woman. But I'm just wondering about why, she's sitting like this. Then this is a slightly different issue that not isn't necessarily straight out of Kilborn, but it is a little bit. It's an image of a man. It's capital One for savings. And consider the language in the print of this ad. Why settle for average? We usually don't settle when we talk about our bank accounts. We settle when we talk about partners. And average, this man is attractive, but he possibly we could consider average, or even the guy behind him in the picture. The women further back, however, might look a little bit more, a little more than average. So, a few things to ask is how often do you see financial or economic advertisements that feature women? Why are his hands like that? And why, does he look like he's on a date? What the heck is he doing? Is he talking about his bank account? Is he average? Is a man who has more money capable of getting a woman more attractive than he is? What are the dynamics of male female power relationships, beauty, and dating wrapped around money that might be going on in this ad? And once again, a picture of a black woman in a kitchen. Cheryl Underwood is a well-known, wonderful woman, but she's stirring up that Metamucil, which she might be drinking, but since it's an advertisement to get us to buy it, is she in our kitchen making it for us? Is she going to help us poo-poo? Again, the idea of the black woman who cares for and makes the home safe and makes you feel good and, rubs your tummy kind of thing. Also, the association of black women in advertisements with cleaning supplies. This isn't Pine Sol, but the suggestion is that Metamucil will clean your colon so that you can poop. There are many things you can ask about this ad. And going in a slightly different direction. Here we have a woman in a swimsuit. The angle emphasizes the length of her very thin legs. She has thrown her head back in reckless abandon, holding on to her hat as she laughs. So who's making her laugh? And what is so funny about any of this? And to whom does this ad appeal? Is this going to make women want to go to St. Lucia, or is this selling a particular fantasy to men? The other thing that troubles me a little bit about this is St. Lucia is an island in the Caribbean, and certainly a very beautiful place. But is the ad talking about a beautiful woman or the island? St. Lucia, let her inspire you. So is St. Lucia a female nation? It is a sovereign nation. And the United States is male. There is a gender dynamic that this ad creates that you can ask questions about on all sorts of levels. Also, kind of the two mountains, one in the foreground, one in the background, measuring up with the triangular peaks on her bathing suit. So there's a little suggestion of St. Lucia's mountains being like breasts, a little bit of titillation going on there. And soothing waves and black sand beaches, energetic street festivals. That's supposed to describe the island, but this beautiful and mysterious, captivating woman, she's mysterious, and why is she laughing? Versus the island, and objectifies the island and probably the people of St. Lucia who don't look like that, because St. Lucia is a former slave colony. Lots of things you can consider about this ad's message. And I always love the weight loss advertisements with people that are the same size as me, because I just love being called obese. This looks almost exactly like my sister. And the print is kind of troubling too. Losing weight and keeping it off, we've always had the will. Now we have another way. But that whole question of people who are not thin, not having willpower, needing this extra help of a drug that I'm sure is very expensive. And I didn't read the side effects, but it's probably like death, permanent disfigurement, etc. And these people look very happy and confident. So have they started losing weight? Have they reached their goal weight? Or is this what obese people look like? Have they just started and lost their first 5 pounds? I don't know, but however you slice it, the messages about weight loss and body image in the media are troubling. And back to our money thing here. This is an adorable advertisement. And the baby's cute, and she has her happy dad in the background. They're not wearing their shoes in the house because they have such a clean and lovely, well cared for home. So, a few questions. Who's taking this picture? We might assume that it's the mom, and the baby's kind of pointing at the mom. But keep in mind that these financial planning ads almost always have a man in them. And it's great that they're planning for their little girl to go to college, etc., as you can see from the print. But the mother is literally out of the picture when it comes to financial planning and caring for her family. We might assume that the mom is the one who said, "Hey, shoes, bro, no shoes in my house. My house is clean." But it does really subtly imply a set of gendered expectations. As heartwarming as it is, it still doesn't show a mom who's going to pay for her child's education. So those are the advertisements, and I would like you to select one of those, think about some of the questions I suggested, and simply use the sample papers as well as the narrative instructions right here. And I need to change this a little bit because you won't be using television song lyrics, music videos, films, etc. You'll just be using one of the advertisements that I chose. And the reason I did that is because people constantly Google sexist ad or feminist ad, blah, blah, and don't write original papers. And I want you to be original, and I want you to use our sources. And it will be worth 15 points, which will put many of you over the top and finish your work for the semester. And if it won't, it will give you um, it will give you a big boost in your grade, shall we say. So this is just about how you quote and write about the ads. I don't want this to be too long, so I'm going to check out for a moment. And if you have any questions, let me know. Have a great week.